From the scenic Steel City, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Highmark Stadium hosts the USL Championship matchup between the Pittsburgh Riverhounds and Austin Bold FC. First ever meeting between these two. It should be a fun one. Tonight, Sean St. Jacques alongside the Manchester United legend, Gary Bailey. Really excited. Both teams have playoff aspirations this season. Gary, this is where we'll see both teams standing in their respective divisions. Pittsburgh were fourth coming into the day. They can get back there with a win.
They certainly can, and that's a good thing. If they do win, they go joint second position with Hartford. Yes, they've played a bunch more games, but, you know, you want to be up there. You want to get the excitement of knowing you're near the top, and, you know, you've got Tampa Bay Rowdies in your sights. Of course, if you start losing and others jump above you, then you're in all sorts of trouble. So, massive match today for Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
And on the Western Conference side of things, we look at the Mountain Division where we find Austin Bold currently in sixth. Obviously, they can move up a little bit with a win today as well. And, of course, they came so close to making the playoffs last season. They want to get over the hump this time around.
They do, and for them, 3 points is vitally important. It won't get them in the top four, but it'll get them closer. And look at the top. New Mexico United have played 6. San Antonio have played 6. So Austin Bold have games in hand. They have to turn those games into points as well. So pressure on Austin Bold and on Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
Gotta love it. Both teams need it today in Pittsburgh. It should be a good one. We take a look first as far as Austin Bold are concerned. Nick Hines is going to be crucial for them today. A goal and an assist so far this season, Gary, and he's already proved to be a key cog in Marcelo Serrano's side. Yeah,
and that's in 3 matches. So anyone who comes back with that, a goal and an assist in 3, is a very useful player to have. They're going to have him starting from the get-go, and they'll be looking to him to get in there, help with the balls into the box, and try and get on the finishing end as well.
On the Riverhounds side of things, we talked with Bob Lilly earlier this week. He said we're finally starting to take our chances. Russell Cicerone came in from St. Louis. They expected him to be a big part of it. He's led the line along with other very important key pieces as well, Gary.
Yeah, Cicerone's been fantastic. 3 in 5 games, but he's on the bench, so they won't start with him. They'll be looking to those who scored against New York Red Bulls. Griffin got the first, Dixon the second, and yes, Cicerone did pop up with the third, but there were goal scorers before him, and he'll be hoping that they will contribute today.
First ever meeting between Pittsburgh and Austin. Both teams need it. Pittsburgh is ready. It's the Riverhounds. It's Austin Bold, and it is coming up next.
Before, you weren't able to walk very far.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. I couldn't even get out of bed sometimes.
How are you walking now?
I'm walking 6 miles a day.
Awesome.
Getting control back is living proof. The AHN Neuroscience Institute.
Just in time for the start of the 2021 season, we're offering Riverhounds Mini Flex Plan. Flex plans are 6 vouchers to use any way you want over the 2021 season to catch the Hounds in action. Use them all for 1 game or spread them out through the season. With 3 different plans starting at $90, you can choose anywhere in Highmark Stadium to cheer on the Hounds. Visit riverhounds.com or call 412-865-GOAL.
Playing Mining for Millions from the PA Lottery can make you feel like you're on cloud 9. And now's your chance to ride that feeling all the way to top prizes of $1 million.
Hey, any luck today?
Still up in the air.
Keep on scratching.
Summer is almost here, and so are the Riverhounds Academy Summer Technical Clinics. We have 3 sessions which are geared to players interested in developing technical skills in multiple areas over the course of the week. Clinics are led by Riverhounds Development Academy trainers and current professional Riverhounds players. Clinics start July 5th, open to players 7 to 14 years old. Register online or contact the Academy office at 412-325-7238.
Sean St. Jacques, Gary Bailey back here with you in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Excited for this one. The Riverhounds hosting Austin Bold. First ever meeting between these 2 sides. And Gary, here's how Marcelo Serrano sets up his starting 11, led by the former MVP, Sean O'Coley, up top.
Yeah, just 2 changes from the team that lost 1-0 against El Paso. Nick Hines comes in for Juan Torres and Artes Diouf up front for Stefano. So Diouf should lead it. It's quite a forward line, that Gordon, Diouf and Okoli. Very impressive.
And a solid back line behind them as well, with Hines and Okugo leading the way. Bob Lilly, his team is starting to take their chances. And the Riverhounds are running on D&D, Dixon and Dequa up top.
Yeah, 5 changes for him from the team that beat Loudon 3-2 on Wednesday. In particular, very surprised that up front there's no Cicerone, their top goal scorers. You say Dixon and Dequa will be the 2 leading there. Danny Vitiello comes back in goals for Jake Leaker. Out Robinson, Wharton, Velarde and Cicerone in. Jordan Dover, Louis Perez, Danny Rivero and, as mentioned, Albert Dequa.
Elton Garcia is our center referee, and he kicks us off from Highmark Stadium. Pittsburgh in their always formidable black and yellows against Austin Bold and their road whites with the black numbering. Pittsburgh are starting to get back to their normal selves. 2 wins on the bounce. They're still looking, though, for their first win at Highmark this season. And Austin making their first ever visit, first ever meeting with the Riverhounds. And the other amazing stat coming into this one is Pittsburgh's first game against a current team in the Western Conference since 2014. Last time they played a team in the West, Arizona United, who are now Phoenix Rising.
Wow, there
it's been that long.
A little bit of history for us. I'm impressed. Good knowledge, but either way, this is an important match for both sides.
Austin with an early chance. Oh, goodness me! Before you can even take a breath, Austin Bold take the lead at Highmark. We barely had a chance to talk about them. And the opening goal scorer is Colin Fernandez. Incredible.
That's a great strike from Colin Fernandez. Look, they're having some fun with his boot there and just shining it for him, but he's hit that absolutely perfectly. Let's have a look here. Header clear, chested down and knocked straight back in by Diouf. Laid up, and wow, what a good strike that is, right into the corner. Nothing Danny Vitiello can do about that. That's just a fantastic strike from Colin Fernandez.
His first goal of the season inside the first minute. And Austin Bold, before Pittsburgh could even take a breath, have the lead at Highmark, and Bob Lilly's side already have it all to do. What a remarkable start to this game.
I think it's just what Austin Bold needed after their recent loss at home to El Paso. They felt they deserved at least a draw from that match, thought it was a very even game. And they didn't get any points from that. At least now they can come back and look at this and say, right, we're ahead early on. We've got a chance to walk away with 3 much-needed points. That won't even take them into the playoff positions, but it'll get them a lot closer. And that's good news for all Austin Bold fans.
Well, Coach Serrano said to the team website earlier this week, Gary, he said, quote, "We didn't create enough chances, had a lot of the ball, and the goalkeeper didn't even have to make that many saves besides the goal that they conceded to El Paso." He said, listen, we just have to decide who's fit, who's ready to go, because we plan to come out strong. Well, boy, have they. They didn't take much time at all to do it either.
They didn't, and it's a good front line they have. Even though it's a midfielder in Colin Fernandez who scores, with Okoli, Diouf and Gordon, they've got threats in every single position there. Big Sean Okoli, you can see him stood there, and I think it was he who set the ball up for Colin Fernandez. It is a great start, and this Austin Bold side was one that Bob Liddy said was a very good side, would be hard to break down. And when we asked him, he particularly said Sean Okoli and Wayne Gordon will be the 2 that he'd be most worried about. Well, I think certainly one of those 2 had a hand in that goal.
And now Pittsburgh, as we saw, Gary, when they lost here by a goal to 0 to Charlotte, have to work their way back into this game. Of course, that night they didn't have Canardo Forbes, who's been huge for them since returning from a red card suspension he picked up against Hartford.
He's a massive player to have back, Canardo Forbes, in the USL Championship's all-time assist leader. And he's just been a legend for a long, long time now, but they'll need him today to fight their way back against what is a very decent Austin Bold side that we expected a better start than they've had, just the 1 win from 4. But it looks like they have a team out today who's going to give Pittsburgh more than a few problems.
Forbes, you mentioned it, 39 assists, all-time leader in championship history, had 8 of them for Pittsburgh a season ago. They might need one from him again today, at least to get back into this game. Austin, as you heard earlier, lost last time out in Copa Tejas against El Paso by a Diego Luna goal in the 56th minute. It's the only goal of the game. And again, Coach Serrano said, other than that goal, we didn't really give up that many chances. But we didn't create enough to get anything from the game, despite the fact that it felt like we could have gotten a point, maybe more.
Yeah, exactly. On that, if you look at the crosses, there were 27 to Austin Bold and just 9 to El Paso. But to your point, 27 crosses resulting in not one decent effort on target. That's the problem. Well, we've seen quality already. That first move, absolutely brilliant by Austin Bold.
Pittsburgh 3-0 winners against New York Red Bulls. 2 on the road, and then had to hold on a little bit late against Loudoun, but got out of there with a 3-2 victory as well. They work it around. This is Mikel Williams, and he couldn't quite find a teammate, and it's out for a goal kick.
Well, I guess the positive from a Pittsburgh point of view is that the goal against came early, and you got plenty of time to get back in the game, to give that man in goals, Elliot Panico, enough of a tough afternoon.
He's got the Petr Cech headgear.
He has, yes.
As well.
Yeah, I wonder if he's taken a few knocks to the head over the years like Petr Cech did. Probably. Big goalkeeper, isn't he? What is he, about 6'4"? But it hasn't dampened the crowd. That's what I love about the Riverhounds. That's what I love about the fact that we can now get back to almost having full crowds at most stadiums. Just the vibe, the party atmosphere, the players respond to it. We love to hear it. It just adds so much to the game.
It's amazing. We talked about it. I've talked about it with you, with many others, before and during and after the pandemic. It's just been, or getting towards that post-pandemic. You never know how you're going to feel about it until it's gone. And boy, have we missed the fans. It's just been not the same without them. And it's just have to echo what you said, Gary. It's just amazing that we're getting so close to everyone being able to be back, and we couldn't be happier. And I know the fans have got to be absolutely thrilled that we're making our way back to normality. Pittsburgh loft one over the top, harmless in the end. Can Austin forge ahead? Okoli's calling for it. Lovely ball to find him, but Okoli's touch lets him down, and a good recovery run by Jordan Dover.
Yeah, it was a good ball to Okoli, wasn't it? He needed to kill that ball straight away, and it sort of bounced off his foot and allowed Dover to go and nick it from him. You want better control from your striker up front. But again, the three of them in attack for Austin Bold. It's a very, very bold, if you don't mind me saying so, of Marcelo Serrano. You go to Pittsburgh, to Riverhounds and Bob Lilly territory, and you go and attack with 3 strikers, but they've got a dividend from it already.
Header goes out of play, out for a goal kick, and Bob Lilly said he was going to have to make some changes as far as resting some guys and things of that nature. Let's see, Todd Wharton, Anthony Velarde, Russell Cicerone, probably the most notable. 3 goals this season, leads the Riverhounds, all of them on the bench today. But if it does stay like this, or even if Pittsburgh do get one back, you do feel at some point we'll probably see at least 2 of those aforementioned names. All key cogs to what Bob Lilly hopes to build yet again this season in Pittsburgh. As Dover thought he'd won a free kick. Instead, he doesn't even get a throw.
A few in the crowd just suggesting it might have been a foul, but referee says shoulder to shoulder. Hines, we featured him in the build-up. 1 goal and 1 assist. And he's going to be very helpful down that left-hand side with his left foot. And then Colin Fernandez with his, which we've seen already with the goal. That's a potent threat down that left-hand side for Austin Bold.
In the Loudoun win, Velarde scored. Cicerone scored from the penalty spot. An own goal provided the second of the three. Coach Bob Lilly, I think anybody who watched that game would agree, Alex Dixon was the one that really shined. Was involved in all three goals.
He was brilliant in all three goals. It was his cross for Velarde's for 1-0. It was Dixon's cross that ended up in an own goal, and then it was Dixon who won the penalty for Cicerone. So yeah, I would pretty much make him man of the match. And in fact, he scored against New York as well, New York Red Bulls, so he's certainly a man in form.
He's coming off a fantastic season for Hartford Athletic. It was a good ball in behind. Dixon was in it, went all the way through to Dequa before it was cleared out for a throw-in. Yeah, Dixon really shined under Roddy Jaidi's tutelage in Hartford a season ago, and now starting to percolate again under Bob Lilly.
Yeah, just talking to Bob about Loudoun, and he did mention that he felt they were really good for the first 30 minutes and then tailed off, and as you mentioned, they were actually holding on in the end when they won 3-2. He wants something very, very different. Well, they're going to have to put in more than 30 minutes, I would think, to beat Austin Bold here today. This is going to be a much, much tougher game. Interesting, the possession that they had in their last two matches, Pittsburgh, was 40% against Loudoun, 38% against New York Red Bulls too. So they're not used to, or they don't really seem to like and feel comfortable dominating possession. Well, they have so far in the first 10 minutes. And they don't seem too bad with the ball, so maybe it's a slightly different look Pittsburgh we have today.
Ooh, Hines was down before the kick was taken, and then just kind of lofted it out of play, and he's going to be attended to here. That is not a good sign from Marcelo Serrano's side. Hopefully Nick Hines is okay. Again, we highlighted him for a reason. He's been huge for Austin Bold this season. Take another look here. The sequence previous, and he might have, maybe that was it, where he kind of tripped over Dixon a little bit and came up with a little something after that.
That's a chance for everybody else to get a bit of a water break, get some hydration in there. We'll have to see what happens with Nick Hines in those situations. Did he pull something that's going to stop him from finishing this match, or is it just a little nick that needs a rub and the physio's magic spray, and then everything's fine?
He looks like he wants to come back in, which is a good sign. Just hope he's okay to continue moving forward. Bob Lilly told us this as well. You mentioned it just a moment ago, Gary. It is going to be 90+ in Pittsburgh for this game, and on top of that, with the turf heat, it's going to feel even hotter than that. So he said the players are not going to be as used to that. Austin probably will be. They live, most of them, in a hot climate already, of course, but it is something that is going to be a factor as the night goes on.
You mentioned Bob Lilly. This is his 99th game in all competitions as head coach of the Hounds, so next one will be the centenary for him, and he has been super successful. Defensively, they've been wonderful, the Riverhounds, in terms of being defensively tight. Just 10 goals in the 16 regular season matches during 2020. And under Bob Lilly, they've conceded, what is an average of 0.63 goals per game. That's an incredible defensive performance over the last 3 or 4 years.
And that defensive acumen in 98 games coming into tonight, Gary, 51 wins.
Wow.
For Bob Lilly in charge. His 50th came against New York Red Bulls 2, that 3-0 victory just a couple of games ago, and he added another one, of course, last time out. So he's over the 50, he's over the half-century mark now, Bob Lilly is, and he's approaching that century mark in games managed for the Riverhounds as well.
I just wonder if this could be one of his toughest years. He lost a lot of very, very influential players in the break over Christmas. Dos Santos up front being one of them, who's been massive for them. But I think in the last match we did against Charlotte, it was 6 or 7 really good quality players. Now, of course, he's brought in quality as well, but you wonder if this team's as strong as it was last season. Only time will tell.
And not only up front, but guys like Van Kayazeel at the back as well. And almost every phase of the game, Bob Lilly had to go back to the drawing board. But you've seen it over the last couple of games, especially with the guys up front. They've started to take their chances, get more into the flow of what Bob Lilly wants. And to be fair, Bob Lilly has said it every time we've talked to them this season, Gary. They're getting better every week. They're getting closer and closer to where they want to be. Says, you know, obviously we're only 5 games in, 6 games here tonight. Not anywhere near where he hopes the finished product is, but Bob Lilly's also, again, we've talked to him about it. He said, you know, I've been through this before. This is something I'm used to. This is something that we got to get the guys used to, and once we do, we expect them to get the results that can get us where we want to go. At the moment, 15 minutes in, they're trying to come back from a goal down. Colin Fernandez inside the first minute scored the opener for Austin.
I think Vitiello's getting bored back there. He's come all the way out just to get a touch on the ball.
Hasn't seen a shot, or really much at all, since Colin Fernandez scored, with really the first action of the game. Here's Forbes. Here's Dover. It's a searching ball in. Cushioned out for a throw.
A lot of white jerseys behind the ball, very deep in their own sort of final third. Austin Bold, and doesn't leave much space for Pittsburgh to find gaps to play into. Just got the one big man up front there, Okoli.
Kilwine was helping out initially, and it's out for a throw. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, visit SelectSportAmerica.com. Okoli in behind. It's shepherded out for a throw. Okoli coming off of a season with Orange County in USL Championship play. Again, he was the 2016 Golden Boot winner and USL MVP with FC Cincinnati. He had spells in the MLS, had a spell in Europe as well, and then had 7 goals in 15 games with Orange County a season ago, and he still got that strike force that Marcelo Serrano is hoping can get Austin back to the playoffs this season after they were so close a season ago in Group D. They were in it. They were right there with 3 games to go, but Tulsa pipped them to the final spot. Ended up making the playoffs just ahead of them. Tulsa needed to rattle off 3 straight victories at the end of last season to beat Austin to the spot, and they did just that.
And if you look at Sean Okoli, he's only 28 years of age. He's at his peak now. So he's a fantastic signing to have. You'll see all the white shirts behind the ball except him because they believe they can knock it up to him. He can hold it. He can bring them into play. And it's a great way to be able to play. You're 1-0 up. You get all those white shirts into the final third. You leave Sean Okoli up front, and then you just try and counter with speed.
Forbes and Griffin trying to create. Rivera helping out. Here's Dixon. Out wide. A few yellow and black shirts to aim at. Goes over everybody's head. A little bit of a nick in the penalty area. Fans behind the goal asking a question of the referee, which will go unanswered.
Yeah, never a penalty, but the fans, they're going to put pressure on the referee every chance they get. Ball seemed to have been a little bit overhit. It's way, way past where it needed to be by Luis Perez. He wanted to get it more in the center of the box. There's enough Hounds, Riverhounds players in the box that could have caused a problem.
And I think to be fair to Jordan Dover, he wasn't the one appealing for the penalty. It was the Riverhounds faithful behind the goal, and I think that's who Nick Hines was throwing his arm up to right there. Vitiello clears.
He's had a rest, Vitiello. 1 game out. He played really well this season, made some super saves. Against Charlotte, he was a little bit hesitant early on, and then he came back with some excellent saves. Jake Leaker played in the last match. And it's always good just to give the goalkeeper a rest once in a while. It gives them the rest, and B, it reminds them that, hey, you know, there's somebody looking for your job. You better keep your standard up.
That Pittsburgh-Charlotte game was a heck of a goalkeeper battle. Miller and Vitiello both at times made some mistakes, but also at times put on a heck of a show. In what ended up being a 1-0 victory for Charlotte, who continue to have the, I don't know, some sort of advantage over Pittsburgh. Shot comes in from about 25 yards out as Javi Baez took aim, but it was easy for the goalkeeper.
Yeah, straight at Danny Vitiello, but at least it's a positive sign from Javi Baez. Ton of experience from the 33-year-old Mexican, over 205 appearances for Guadalajara, which is a very, very good standard of soccer. So he brings a massive amount to Austin Bold.
Pass cut out. Advantage given. Near side Gordon. And Gordon was trying to thread a couple of needles there. Couldn't find a way through the Pittsburgh back line.
You just saw Coley make a run there, and I think that's what, as we said, they're going to counter-attack. They're going to look to try and get the big man through one-on-one through the center. Other than that, they just sit back and defend. This is going to get very frustrating for Pittsburgh players and fans because they're going to find very difficult to find space against Austin, and they're going to have possession but without any final intent or purpose.
Williams switches fields. This is Preston Kilwine. Rovira. All the way back to Shane Veet.
One of only 2 Hounds players who've played every minute this season, Shane Veet and Danny Griffin.
And it says a lot when Bob Lilly makes big changes that he doesn't worry about resting those two. He's got a lot of faith in what those two can provide, not only with their energy, but their endurance and their consistency. Here's Forbes. It was a little inviting for him initially. Slide tackle was clean. Griffin probing one in. Dover puts in a decent ball. The header nowhere near in the end, and it's out for a goal kick.
That's a lovely ball from Dover, right into the danger area. Albert Dick was saying, thank you, well done. That's exactly what I want. Give me service and I've got a chance of scoring. He hasn't had much service, Albert Dicker, but look at Dover. Loops it over. He knows where he wants to find Dickwa. He's just got a little bit too much height in it. Dickwa has to go backwards, and in the end, the defender leans over him and deals with it. That's much better from Pittsburgh in attack. They haven't really been able to cause Nico any problems in goals, and you can see a frustrated Bob Lilly just up and down that touchline.
Vitiello controls. He's not one to be mild on the sideline. Bob Lilly has great passion and energy for the game and his team, as Dixon with a rare miscue on the near side.
And I think he's one of those coaches, like so many in the USL. They know what they want. They've been there, they've done it, they've created good sides. And when players don't perform the way they expect, then of course they get frustrated and uptight, as any manager would in any sort of business. The thing with Bob Lilly is he knows exactly the way you should be playing. So it's easy for him to get frustrated. He has very high standards. And again, you can replace that many good players that they lost rather at the end of the season, or that left them. It's not easy to do season after season.
It was Gordon who went down. Another look. Last sequence here. Not sure there was much contact on that high boot from Forbes. Nothing came of it. It did take a while for Pittsburgh to get going after they conceded an Irvin Parra goal against Charlotte here a few games ago. Well, they did have a heck of a flurry in the last 10 minutes. And like you mentioned earlier, Gary, a lot more time this time around for Pittsburgh to get it back.
They have, but they need to do something a little bit more direct. Again, it's all pretty football around the edge of the box, but not a lot that's actually bothering Elliot Panico in goals.
Austin do really well in a tight area to get it out, but it is given away. Dixon. This is Veet. Kilwine.
So deep, aren't they, Austin Bold? They're just saying, break us down if you can, and so far Pittsburgh really just haven't got down the lines. They haven't got behind the back four. They haven't got crosses into the box, except that one from Dover a few minutes ago. Coley's saying, come on, he's grabbed me, pushed me, he knocked me over. You've got to give me the foul, because that's how they want to play. They want to knock the ball up to the big man. They want him to either win the foul or keep the ball, and then they can push up. So if he can't do that job, then they can't get out of defense as easily. That's a massive part of their current game plan.
And of course, Austin already done a big part of what makes this so tough. They've scored a goal, and now it's the onus that is on Pittsburgh. That's where it can be tough on teams, when the pressure's on you to score and you're facing a team that loves to absorb that pressure.
I mean, there is certainly from a defensive point of view, I used to take great pride in our defense playing against the attack, and you don't let them score. You know, as defenders, Austin Bold could welcome this and say, hey, you can come at us for 90 minutes. We love it. We love stopping you, blocking you, clearing the ball. So defenders are not going to stress about this. It's up to Pittsburgh to find a way round. And Alex Dixon's pace, can he get down the sort of wing? Can he get some crosses in the box to Albert Dikwa? But I think you're right. If they don't get a breakthrough, I think early in the second half, we'll see the likes of Cicerone come on the pitch.
Well, Veet had to backtrack. Vitiello did well to take charge. Austin tried to come again. Griffin with a good challenge. And the ball floats over the head of Dikwa.
So much going on in the back. There's a train going past. There's the whole ton of boats. You've got to concentrate when you're playing on this pitch. You could easily end up thinking you're on vacation.
Oh, a quick shot from Gordon. Tried to catch Vitiello out. Yeah, everything but the planes, as far as the planes, trains, and automobiles.
I think the defenders are watching the boats that allowed Gordon to slip through and get that shot. Wasn't a great shot. Would have had to have been a wonderful strike to beat the keeper, but nice confidence.
A wonderful ball over the top. Can Griffin get there? It wouldn't have mattered. The flag is up. The idea was there.
It's good defending. They've caught them a couple of times offside.
The Riverhounds are back in action next Saturday, June 12th at 7 p.m. when Miami FC makes its Highmark Stadium debut. You can visit riverhounds.com or call the box office 412-865-GOAL. Individual and group tickets are on sale now. That's what Pittsburgh needs. They need a goal. Try to get back into this game. Again, if you're just tuning in, opening minute, inside of a minute, Colin Fernandez scored the opening goal for Austin Bold. Since then, it's been touch and go as far as chances. Not a ton really at all for either side.
This is a good defensive side, Austin Bold. They've only conceded 4 goals in 4 games previous to this. That's the same as New Mexico, who are top of their group. The problem for Austin Bold isn't their defense, which has been very solid. It's in attack they've struggled to score goals.
Ooh, an arm maybe around the back there of Gordon. Referee will give the free kick and give a little bit of a talking to Mikel Williams here.
It was a very high arm. He's lucky not to get a yellow card, Mikel Williams, and that's what they're saying. Javi Baez is saying, you know, he raised his arm, and it did look like he had his arm raised to a certain extent, but referee Elton Garcia has given him the benefit of the doubt. And he's a very good referee. And bear in mind, for those at home watching replays, he gets to see it once and we've got to make an immediate decision. And have a look here. Does the arm come up? I think so. I think that's a yellow card because it's been done on purpose, but difficult for the referee to see in that split second.
Yeah, Marcelo Serrano has to be pleased. His team up a goal. And in search of a second. Fernandez, who scored it, will service this. Comes up a little bit short, comes out for Baez, who finds his teammate Fernandez, kind of loops it into the side netting.
That's a rare foray forward for Austin Bold. We haven't seen much of them in attack since they scored the goal in those first few minutes.
And we'll take a hydration break here at the half-an-hour mark. Haven't had a ton as far as chances in this game since Colin Fernandez's fantastic opening goal inside the first minute. Really was the first and, I have to say, only clear-cut chance of the game. But he scored. It was a fantastic finish. Really good goal with the left boot. We'll take another look at it here as both coaches are now reassessing things with the side. But Gary, it was a really fast start for Austin Bold. One chance, one goal, brilliant finish.
Yeah, Diouf knocks it in there. It's Okolu who sets it up, but it's a wonderful strike. That's the quality that gets you success. When you can hit a ball like that on the volley in the corner, it's perfect execution from Colin Fernandez. No wonder they're polishing his boot for him. And since that moment, Austin Bold have dropped back into their final third and said, break us down, and Pittsburgh haven't even come close. No, I mean, there's still plenty of time left in the match, so and that's what Bob Liddy's probably saying. Let's keep doing the right thing. Let's probing, but they've got to do something a little bit more, Pittsburgh. They've got good enough players. Alex Dixon's got pace. But this team here, Austin Bold, have been nice and strong at the back, well organized, stepped up and caught Pittsburgh offside a few times. That's something else Pittsburgh need to be careful of.
Yeah, who needs to pay to get your shoes signed when you got your teammates for you, huh?
Oh, they'll shine his boots all day long if you keep scoring goals with him.
His first of the season, and it's the difference at the moment. Since then, it's been a lot of this, a lot of aggressive talk from Bob Lilly, trying to get his side level in this game. Very cool, calm, collected from Marcelo Serrano's Austin Bold. They've been tough to break down, as Bob Lilly predicted. Still a long way to go for twists and turns here at Highmark. And again, we mentioned it earlier, it's really hot in Pittsburgh today. I know that's not said very often, but even in the summer, cities like Pittsburgh will get very warm. It's over 90 degrees with the turf on top of that, so it's going to feel even hotter on the pitch. And players getting a much-needed hydration break, and we're ready to get back underway. Pittsburgh haven't been able to really create a ton since they conceded. Right out of the hydration break, though, they're after it again. It's communication. Nkaza was there to break it up. And it's out for a bold throw.
Here's another example of Pittsburgh getting the ball wide. They get in a position where they can cross it. They knock it around. They overplay, and then they lose possession. Sometimes it's better just to get down the line and whip the ball into the box and give the strikers something to try and attack.
Miscontrolled. Dequa is trying to find Griffin. And Pittsburgh will get it back via a throw.
They're shouting, the coach is shouting, it's too slow. It's everything's allowing Austin Bold to get set, to get everybody back, to block up all the holes.
Dover wins a corner.
And he's getting applause as well, and I think that's probably what Bob really wanted. You know, switch channels, switch sides, get good balls, stretch the defense, put them under a bit of duress, and already they've got a corner from it. Well done, Jordan Dover.
Luis Perez will take it. Well, towards the back post. A little bit of miscommunication. Dixon lofts it centrally. Feet puts it towards the net. Dover was just out of his reach. Did take a deflection. And it looks like it's going to be a goal kick. Pittsburgh were appealing for a corner. They did not get it.
Just wondering if Dickwood could have headed that first time. He let it bounce, and once it bounced, it was too much jostling for him to bring it under control. But that's much better from Pittsburgh already. After a little Bob Lilly intervention there, they're switching the ball from side to side. They're getting balls into the danger area. And as good as any defense is, including Austin Bowles, you put enough balls in a box, something's going to drop for the attacking side at some stage.
One of the interesting stories that we found before the start of this game, of course, is a little bit of a homecoming for Austin Bold assistant coach Ryan Thompson, former Pittsburgh Riverhounds goalkeeper. 3 wins, 4 losses, 3 draws in 10 games, all of them starts back in 2015. And Gary, that same year, he was the goalie for the Jamaican national team that got all the way to the CONCACAF Gold Cup final, beating a pretty good Jurgen Klinsmann-led United States team with the likes of Dempsey, Guzan, Zardes, and others. But they did fall in the final to a very talented Mexico side by 3-1. And Thompson now returns to Highmark after all that success.
Well, I'm sure they welcome him before the game, but they won't be that welcoming if his team retain the lead. But it's always great to have your club heroes return in any guise, in any form. Just it's part of the history of the club, and I'm sure the fans who have been around since 2015 will be delighted to shake his hand after the game, but particularly if Pittsburgh win. not so sure about if Austin Bold win.
Forbes, a rare miscue, he recovers. This is Preston Kilwine. And Rivera. Forbes, by the way, 2 assists shy of tying the Pittsburgh all-time assists record. He's already set some league records. He's been all league on multiple occasions. Still has opportunities to set some franchise records as well. At the moment, Kevin Kerr has the all-time mark with 27 Pittsburgh Riverhounds assists.
I'm sure he's going to break that. He'll get 2 assists or more in the next few games, you would think. Well, he's got to be careful not to get more red cards. Sent off against Hartford for what looked like a pretty nasty stamp on one of the opposing players. Unlike him, and missed that Charlotte match.
But since he's come back, and we didn't have to tell Bob Lilly, he knew more than anybody how important it was to have him back, as an offside flag will go up. And Austin's attack is stifled.
But this is where you need players of Conrado Forbes' ability. Something a little bit special just to open the lock here on a very solid Austin Bold defense. As mentioned, Alex Dixon's pace and the crossing ability, he'd be another one you'd be looking to just see if he can't find a way through this packed defense. Again, look at them all, those white shirts that Marcelo Serrano has. He's got them all back in their final third. Just the big Sean Okoli up front.
And Veet assessing his options. He has Williams to his right. Forbes. And it's going to roll past Dover. The USL is committed to supporting the LGBTQ+ community through the Forever Proud project. The USL will strive to create safe and welcoming environments for all fans, players, employees, and partners. Learn more at uslsoccer.com/forwardforever-proud. Panico sends it forward. Forbes out jumped by Okoli. Whipped over the top for Diouf. Wasn't quite able to get there. Rivera helping on the back channel.
There hasn't been much for Doof. You mentioned his name, but because he's an attacker, but he's spending most of his time defending him, and Owain Gordon haven't been able to attack as much as they would like.
Dixon finds Griffin on the counter. Griffin central ball, Dixon, handball appeal. Referee waves it away. And Austin can escape.
So that's what you want to do. Get ball into that sort of 6-yard area. You don't know what's going to happen. It bobbles around. There's a chance of a handball. There's a chance of a strike on goal. Pittsburgh haven't done enough of that. And great to see Griffin getting down this right-hand side here. A little bit of skill and just puts it in. Says, that, guys, run, get on the end of it. That was Alex Dixon saying that he thought there was a handball. Even if there was, it would be very harsh to give it. It sort of jumps up, and defender had his hands in front of his own body. So even with VAR, it's highly unlikely it would have been given. But without VAR, there's no way the referee's going to see that.
Gustavo Risi was the closest to it, but like you said, Gary, his arms were at his side. Would have been an extremely harsh decision, live or with VAR. Flag stays down for Dixon. Again, Forbes, Griffin. Forbes looks up. Looking for a different angle. Out wide, Rivera. Griffin. Williams. Very patient from Pittsburgh. And Rivera, nowhere near Dequa, but recycled by Veet initially, and now Austin have numbers if they hurry here. Baez, Gordon turning on the Jets, and Gordon takes aim, takes a deflection, crucial header away at the back post, and Griffin controls. That was dangerous from Austin on the counterattack.
Yeah, it's a classic counter-attack, isn't it? They've been sitting deep all this time. They win possession in midfield, and they bomb forward, get the ball to Owain Gordon, who's both strong physically and quick. He gets in the box, and he tries to get a shot on target, bit of a deflection. In the end, it doesn't trouble Danny Vitiello at all, but that's their perfect game plan. Sit deep, counter-attack with pace. And as we come up to the halfway mark, they've executed their game plan perfectly so far.
Williams lofts it over the top. Initially controlled by Perez. Now Griffin from Forbes. We lofted out of play. Encouragement from the Austin bench. You can hear them clapping every time they get a stop.
What they're doing as well is they're killing the crowd a little bit. That crowd behind the goal there, behind Elliot Panico's goal, they were bouncing up and down at the start of the match. But, you know, after a while you start to get frustrated that you can't break down this defense, and the music has died, and that affects the Pittsburgh players. So, you know, whenever we played away from home, we'd always say the first thing you want to do is kill the crowd, and you kill the crowd by killing the game. You know, and that's exactly what Austin have done. They've grabbed the first goal, they've defended well, they've slowed it all down, and there isn't much left for the Pittsburgh crowd to sing about at the moment, to be honest.
Forbes overran it. Diouf controls. Austin, we trying to get a little greedy here before halftime comes around. Ball lofted over the top, headed into the path of Gordon. We'll let it roll out for a throw, just under 2 minutes plus potential added time at the end of the first half. Colin Fernandez scored inside the very first minute of the game. Since then, Austin have been in control. The referee pointed a couple of different ways there, and in the end he gives the corner. Not sure what he was doing there for a second, but I think the decision was right in the end. It is a chance for Austin to potentially double their advantage.
I think he was looking at his assistant referee for a bit of help there. Assistant referee could see from perhaps a better angle, even though he's further away. Either way, it is the correct decision from what we could see, and a difficult corner for Pittsburgh to defend.
Javi Baez takes it short. Diouf with a good turn initially, was blocked out on the initial cross. All the way back out to the goal scorer, Fernandez. Chested down in the penalty area. Flag may have gone up there. In the end, Pittsburgh clears regardless. And it's booted out for a throw. The Eastern Conference takes center stage when the USL on ESPN continues on ESPN Deportes on the 15th of June. Clash of Midwestern powers as Indy 11 look to continue their hot start against Pittsburgh Riverhounds. At the mic, catch the pair of beasts of the Easts on Tuesday night. Kickoff scheduled for 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Deportes. 3 added minutes. At the end of this first half, Austin already a goal up. Could they have a chance at a second? Hero Coley in behind, but the back line of Pittsburgh snuffs it out.
Yeah, that ball was nearly perfect for Coley. He's not a flying machine, so he needs the ball played right into his path, right into his feet, and he just couldn't quite get on the end of that. But again, that's their game plan. Just win the ball in midfield, get turnover ball, and look straight up and goes, where is number 9? Where's Sean Coley? How do we get a ball through to him? And if he can't attack, he'll hold the ball up and wait for the others to join him.
Does Pittsburgh have one last thing to say about it here at the end of the first half? Williams. Idea was good. It was given away initially. Pittsburgh win possession back. Forbes did his best to control that and does win a throw-in with 2 minutes left of the added time at the end of the first half.
See, there was a chance to cross the ball into the box. It wasn't taken. It goes out again. At some point, you've got to get the ball into the box.
Rivera trying to do just that. Dixon flicks it on, another header down, and the flag was up anyway. This time, it was Luis Perez on the doorstep, but it wouldn't have mattered.
It's good play from Dixon to win the header from Luis Perez. Keep yourself on side. You're in the box. You're working so hard to create an opportunity. You can't be in an offside position when that ball does come. You've got to make yourself onside, and then maybe you can get on the end of something. But certainly a little bit better from Pittsburgh. You know, at least something for their fans to get excited about.
It has been, again, I always try to hesitate to say these things because it's so early in the season, but it's been a little bit of a pattern developing at Highmark in these first few games of the season. Falling behind and then kind of taking some time to get going offensively, but we saw it firsthand, Gary. Pittsburgh, they just don't give up under Bob Lilly. They always push until the last whistle. There's a long way to go if Austin are going to get out of here with all 3 points.
Which is why if they can get a second on the counter, that's obviously what their game plan is. And I've had a few little sniffs, not enough. You know, it's one thing getting Sean Coley on the ball, but you've got to support him quickly. Wayne Gordon did that once or twice very well, but if they can get a second, it'll make it a mountain to climb for the Riverhounds.
Last action here at the end of the first half. Griffin. Pittsburgh have to get it into the penalty area if they want a chance to equalize at the end of the first half. Forbes. Rivera. Forbes finds Griffin. Back out wide. Takes a wild deflection into the path of Dikwa. Down at the penalty area, we've had the 3 added on at the end of this first half, and the referee's seen enough.
Yeah, frustrating first 45 for Pittsburgh, but perfect game plan execution for Austin Bold. Get the goal, defend, give them nothing. To be fair, Vitiello hasn't had much to do, but then neither has Elia Panica in the other goals.
Only goal of the first half came inside the first 60 seconds. Colin Fernandez with a beautiful left-footed strike has Austin Bold ahead at Highmark Stadium. First ever meeting between the Riverhounds and Austin Bold. And Austin have the lead at halftime. We'll take a quick break. More coming up between the Riverhounds and Austin Bold. At the half, Austin up by 1-0.
The action is at Highmark Stadium in June.
While a swing and a miss, and Vitiello comes up to save the first.
Saturday, June 12th, Miami FC makes its debut appearance at Highmark Stadium with a 7 p.m. kickoff. The Hounds close their June home schedule against the New York Red Bull 2 on Friday, June 25th. Individual seats on sale now. Visit riverhounds.com or call 412-865-GOAL. Pleasant Valley Golf Club, nestled in the Laurel Highlands of southwestern Pennsylvania, is now open to the public. Enjoy 18 holes of championship golf with a new island green and fully stocked pro shop. Our clubhouse features a large ballroom for weddings or private parties, 2 restaurants serving delicious food, a sports bar, 2 state-of-the-art golf simulators, and an outdoor patio with gas fire pit and picturesque view. Pleasant Valley Golf Club, now open to the public. To get your soccer fix? Then get ready, because the Pittsburgh Riverhounds Soccer Club is back in action at Highmark Stadium for the start of the 2021 season. Season ticket packages for all seats are now on sale at riverhounds.com, and prices start as low as $255 each. Visit riverhounds.com or talk to a ticket representative at 412-865-GOAL.
Welcome back to Pittsburgh. Halftime between the Riverhounds and Austin Bold. One of our favorite parts of the week. Time to take a look at around the USL Championship. It's time for the dish with Devin Kerr.
Week 7. We'll start off with Loudoun United. Ryan Martin's boys finally getting back on track. I like the fact they took down New Mexico United. Could be the biggest win in franchise history. The problem is to back that up and go on a winning streak, you're going to have to win more than 1, which means 2. And you can't do that if you concede. Anthony Velarde in the 18th minute. And then the own goal. Good ball whipped in by Alex Dixon. Man of the match for me. Had a fantastic game. But there would be a response from these young boys in the red and white jerseys with the sash. Bolivar! Bottom corner. Between the legs and the bottom corner. You know what I'm talking about. 58th minute. Riverhounds, they have an answer. They always have an answer. The problem is it's going to come from the spot because Alex Dixon, I told you he had himself a game. It wasn't an acting class. That was a full-on Emmy. Academy Awards are later on in the season, ladies and gentlemen. You know that. Pittsburgh Riverhounds, you can't call it a comeback because they won 2 in a row. That's a winning streak. Loudoun lost. No. Tampa Bay Rowdies, 4 in a row to start this season. Can they make it 5? Jordan Adebayo Smith. That is thy name. That is thy goal. That is the back of the net. 1-0 for Jordan Adebayo Smith. Nice little ball in through Jordan Doherty. Back line is in 6s and 7s for Red Bull. And Mandela Egbo, this guy's something special, by the way. This year's center back, wears the captain's armband. He is a set-piece specialist. Only 2 teams have ever started 6 winners in a row. Richmond Kickers in 2012, Rochester Rhinos in 2015. That's 5 for the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Here we go. Sporting Kansas City 2. You heard that right. That's the second team playing FC Tulsa. Nobody told FC Tulsa. Lucas Coutinho, 13th minute. Good ball by DaCosta. But again, as I said last week, and I say every week, how many minutes are in a game? 90. There's 90 minutes in a game. 45 plus 3. That's just before halftime. 49th minute on the backside of halftime. We're going to make that 2-1. We're going to go 5 minutes further. Cave Rod is going to get a ball from the corner from Felipe Hernandez, and he's going to say, I'm sorry. That's 3-1, by the way. Oh, you want more? That's fine. 73rd minute, Q Sports Center, ESPN Top 10. Jesus. Rajay Smith, you got to be kidding me with this strike. So they've now lost back-to-back games, FC Tulsa to Atlanta United 2 and Sporting Kansas City 2. But yeah, no, that team's good. Sacramento Republic, Oakland Roots. This was a heck of a match. And this is how it started. Touch, stop, hit me with your best shot. Dark from Ela. Back corner, love it. Chuy Enriquez is hungry, though. Watch him get to the byline. Little touch off the goalkeeper, into the back of the net. Have no clue. I called this game, how this ended there, but he tickled the nightline. Everybody loves tickle time. A couple minutes later, Mumba. Best impersonation on Roger Smith. It's not a banger, but it's a good goal. 60th minute, Cami Wasa. So if you're keeping track, Oakland's up 2-1, by the way. Not anymore. 2-2, Cami Wasa. A little bit of a deflection coming off this. Jordan McCrary, good ball on the inside. Jeremy Bokila, watch this name, watch this guy, watch this man. Remember it like Fort Minor. That name right there. He could end up being one of the Golden Boot winners, or at least close to it come the end of the season. That's 3-2 Oakland roots. But see, for a guy who's entering his 6th season as a professional, you would never know that it's his first professional goal. News, notes, schedules. Had the intermezzo. How about a little after-dinner aperitif? We'll catch you soon.
I wasn't going to let anything get in my way of achieving my goals, which were to be a professional soccer player. So the first opportunity I got at preseason, when a teammate asked if I was dating a girl or something, I just came out to a bunch of my teammates at dinner and said, no, I'm gay. All I needed to do was that one time, because then I didn't lie. Your sexuality should never limit you from playing the sport you love.
Tiello's there again, second header.
Here's a chance for Cicerone. Russell Cicerone, the leading goal scorer.
Just in time for the start of the 2021 season, we're offering Riverhounds mini flex plans. Flex plans are 6 vouchers to use any way you want over the 2021 season to catch the Hounds in action. Use them all for one game or spread them out through the season. With 3 different plans starting at $90, you can choose anywhere in Highmark Stadium to cheer on the Hounds. Visit Riverhounds.com or call 412-865-GOAL.
Before, you weren't able to walk very far.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I couldn't even get out of bed sometimes.
How are you walking now?
I'm walking 6 miles a day.
Awesome.
Getting control back is living proof. The AHN Neuroscience Institute.
Need to get your soccer fix? Then get ready, because the Pittsburgh Riverhounds Soccer Club is back in action at Highmark Stadium for the start of the 2021 season. Season ticket packages for all seats are now on sale at Riverhounds.com, and prices start as low as $255 each. Visit Riverhounds.com or talk to a ticket representative at 412-865-GOAL.
The Riverhounds are back in action next Saturday, June 12th at 7 p.m. when Miami FC makes its Highmark Stadium debut. You can visit Riverhounds.com or call the box office at 412-865-GOAL. Individual and group tickets are on sale now. Sean St. Jacques, Gary Bailey back here with you at the half. Austin up by 1-0. We start, though, with this halftime looking at the news and notes. Bruno Lapa, again, continues to be fantastic. He's the USL Player of the Week, and Tampa finally falls from the ranks of the unbeaten, but Gary, Hartford, Tacoma, and El Paso still remain unblemished.
Yeah, Tampa Bay, they played ever so well until they met Charlotte and really struggled yesterday to get anything going. But look at that result on the top right. Phoenix rising with 2-0 down going into the 90th minute. They scored in the 90th and 97th with the last kick of the game. Oh, I felt so sorry for San Diego.
Birmingham Legion, game just went final. They beat Tulsa by 1-0. Tulsa's struggles continue. Miami up by 2-0 over RGV, and we'll see Atlanta United too in just a few moments. They've been a surprise package, but they've got a big test with Lou City coming in to town for that one as well. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule. Tuesday, Loudoun against Charleston. Charleston still winless on the season so far. Atlanta United, too. They've been a good surprise so far this season. They'll host Sporting KC, too. And then San Diego will try to recover as Orange County comes to town on Wednesday.
Good luck against Orange County. There's a decent side for you. And Loudon, if it's not bad enough playing Charleston Battery, who are desperate for a win, they then come up against Tampa Bay. Good luck, Loudon.
And El Paso, Indy 11 on Wednesday. That's going to be a fun one as well on ESPN+. A lot of good action coming up. We expect a lot of good action in the second half between Pittsburgh and Austin. Austin with the advantage at the moment. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, highlights and stats, and then the second half kick from Pittsburgh.
Playing Mining for Millions from the PA Lottery can make you feel like you're on cloud 9. And now's your chance to ride that feeling all the way to top prizes of $1 million.
Hey, any luck today?
Still up in the air.
Keep on scratching.
The action is at Highmark Stadium in June.
While a swing and a miss, and Vitiello comes up to save the first.
Saturday, June 12th, Miami FC makes its debut appearance at Highmark Stadium with a 7 p.m. kickoff. The Hounds close their June home schedule against the New York Red Bull 2 on Friday, June 25th. Individual seats on sale now. Visit riverhounds.com or call 412-865-GOAL.
Before you weren't able to walk very far.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. I couldn't even get out of bed sometimes.
How are you walking now?
I'm walking 6 miles a day.
Awesome.
Getting control back is living proof. The AHN Neuroscience Institute.
Summer is almost here, and so are the Riverhounds Academy Summer Technical Clinics. We have 3 sessions which are geared to players interested in developing technical skills in multiple areas over the course of the week. Clinics are led by Riverhounds Development Academy trainers and current professional Riverhounds players. Clinics start July 5th. Open to players 7 to 14 years old. Register online or contact the Academy office at 412-325-7238.
Sean St. Jacques, Gary Bailey back here with you. Pittsburgh chasing it at the half, down by a 1-0 against Austin Bold. First ever meeting between these two. Second half kick is just moments away. But first, Gary, we'll take a look at the first half highlights between these two. And it didn't take very long at all for Austin Bold to announce themselves to Pittsburgh. Colin Fernandez, with really the only chance for either side of any note in the first half, scored the opener inside of 60 seconds.
And it's a great strike. Absolutely brilliant volley. Beautifully set up. Diouf to Okoli. Okoli just lays it down. But look at that. It's right in the corner. Gives Vitiello no chance.
Since then, Pittsburgh's been chasing it. Perez from the corner. This is one of the chances of a set piece that Pittsburgh had an opportunity. Dixon was in there as well. Veet. And in the end, Dequa couldn't quite get to it.
Yeah, lots of effort from Pittsburgh, but no sort of real quality in the box and not enough ball into the box. This is one of the few times they actually sort of challenged Austin Bold at the back.
And the stats will back that up, Gary. 3 shots on target for Austin Bold. 3 shots, none on target for Pittsburgh, despite 76% possession in the first half. And 3 offsides as well. Austin Bold's structure at the back has been as advertised.
Yeah, they've been absolutely perfect, Austin Bold. But that's just the first half. Everything can change. I mean, the one thing, Pittsburgh did have a lot of the ball. They didn't do enough damage with it. As you quite rightly mentioned, shots on target give you a very good indication of the threat, and it just hasn't been there from Pittsburgh. But Bob Liddy will be looking for some way around. And if he doesn't get a breakthrough in 10 minutes, I think you'll see Cicerone, almost certainly, and also Anthony Velade, who, by the way, was a top returning scorer from a season ago with 5 goals. So, you know, there's 2 players that you can almost guarantee will give you something in that second half. So, in fact, I can just see Cicerone a second ago. There he is. I can actually see he's got his shirt on. Has he already been subbed in? If so, that's a really brave and early move by Bob Lilly.
And it looks like, as you can see on the Jumbotron, looks like that Russell Cicerone, and now on our screen, has been subbed on at halftime. So Bob Lilly is not going to waste any time at all here. He's bringing on his leading goal scorer in Russell Cicerone. 3 goals to his name already this season. A huge part coming over from St. Louis during the offseason. And Bob Lilly already making the change. So Luis Perez makes way. Russell Cicerone on from the start at the second half as Pittsburgh chases the game down by a goal against Austin Bold. Again, Colin Fernandez scored before we really even had a chance to tell you the main storylines of the game. It was inside of 60 seconds, and he became a storyline from the get-go. And since then, Pittsburgh have been trying to catch Austin Bold, and they'll continue to do that as we start the second half.
Yeah, that's a massive move, Cicerone, and a bold move. Most managers would give it till the 60th minute or thereabouts, but Bob Lilly's decided that that first half, they didn't offer any threat whatsoever. And I've no doubt Velarde will get on at some stage if they still can't get a breakthrough. But that's a positive sign from the manager. And what it does, it gives the players the sense that, hey, the manager's serious, so are we. We're going to go for this game. We're going to break down this Austin Bold defense, and let's see if they can.
And to be fair, Bob Lilly told us earlier this week, he said, listen, I've got to have to make some changes. We have to rest some of these guys. It's part of what we have to do. But he's trying to manage the minutes. His Dequa right from the start, 45 seconds in to the second half, tried to repeat the Colin Fernandez first half trick, but he's denied inside the penalty area.
And the good thing for Pittsburgh is it's not just Russell Cicerone who's been scoring goals. You know, they've in the last 6 goals they've scored, they've had 4 different scorers. So, you know, they can turn to the likes of Velarde, who scored in the last match against Loudon. And before that, it was Griffin and Dixon who weighed in. So they've got goal scorers all around. It's just that Cicerone is the one that really seems to make things happen. And I'm sure that it'll bring the others into play as well. It'll make space for Dixon. It'll make space for Albert Dequa because most eyes will be on Cicerone.
Cicerone, after scoring for Pittsburgh this season, has actually now scored for 4 different clubs in his career. Pittsburgh, St. Louis, of course, a season ago, Cincinnati, and Portland as well. So he's had a well-traveled, successful career at this level. This player down there for Austin, it's like it was the goal scorer, Colin Fernandez. Looks like he's okay for the moment, and then confirms it with a thumbs up. Elliot Panico has not had a ton to deal with for Austin in net. Although, to be fair, Vitiello, since the Fernandez goal, hasn't been too troubled either. Though Austin have created some chances since they scored.
I mean, the onus is very much on Pittsburgh. Austin will sit back all day and say, look, you know, we don't mind. We're not going to shoot at Danny Vitiello unless, you know, we absolutely have to, because we're happy at 1-0. You come and break us down, and the more, of course, Pittsburgh attack, the more chance there is of a counter-attack.
Ooh, a foul there. And I think Elton Garcia will have to brandish a yellow card, and he does just that. I believe that was in the direction of Mikael Williams. So he will be written down into the referee's book for this challenge right here.
Yeah, he just was a little bit worried that Sean Okoli was getting away. That's the danger of him. Okoli's big, he's strong, and you don't want him to get goal side of you. In the end, Williams felt he had no choice but to tug him back.
First booking of the game. We've seen some physical play as you'd expect with these two teams, but the referee's done a good job managing it so far. Now Pittsburgh have to manage an Austin set piece. It's a shot directed goal. Veet heads it away, headed back into the danger area, and then it's cleaned up by Pittsburgh a second time. And then the Riverhounds will settle for a throw as Dequa tried another foray forward, pardon.
Looking for a switch of players was. One way to stretch Austin is to go from left to right, right to left. Not easy to do, to knock the ball 60 yards across the pitch, but perfectly executed on that occasion.
Pittsburgh win a throw on the far side. The other thing worth keeping in mind as well, third game in 9 days for Pittsburgh. So cross comes in here, took a wild deflection. Diouf back defending, clears it away. Not quite fully dealt with though. Griffin trying to keep it alive, gets a second chance at it. Now Williams. Forbes involved now, Williams again. Third game in 9 days before a 3-7 for Pittsburgh, and it's their busiest time of the season in general. Miscue here, Dixon. Ball floated towards the back post. Diouf heads it away. It's out for a corner. It's Pittsburgh's most congested part of the schedule during the season. They're in the middle of 10 games in 40 days.
Wow, that's a busy spell, and you will need to rotate, no question about that, but you also need to win, which is why I think Bob Liddy said, you know what, just get Cicerone on now. We can rest him at some later time.
Forbes whips a good ball in, maybe a little bit of miscommunication, but it's back out for another corner. Austin does deal with it.
It wasn't convincing, was it? Looked like they almost headed it into each other, the two Austin Bold defenders. Here we go again.
Forbes take two. Tries a deeper cross, and this time nobody gets a hit onto it, and Austin Bold are fine with that. The SiriusXM Listen Free event is on now through June 8th. Catch 24/7 soccer, including USL All Access, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern on SiriusXM FC channel 157. Plus hundreds of channels filled with entertainment. Download the SiriusXM app to hear it all for free. Go to SiriusXM.com/freekick to learn more. Austin now back to work, up a goal. First ever meeting between these two. First Western Conference meeting for Pittsburgh since 2014 when they faced the artists formerly known as Arizona United, now Phoenix Rising. Lost at Highmark by 2-1 that day.
Well, maybe they don't like playing teams from the Western Conference then, judging by the results so far.
Of course, Pittsburgh also looking for their first home win of the season, and that's not something anyone probably would have expected at this point, even 5 games in. Highmark, normally a Eastern Conference fortress of sorts. So far, it's been Riverhound Road Warrior performances that have gotten them the points. They're trying to change the home form as we speak. It was a good ball in. Not quite dealt with, though. Dixon with a second try at it. And towards the back post, header centrally for Cicerone. Second chance at it, and the central pass is easily cleared.
That's much better. There were 2 balls into the box that caused Austin Bold all sorts of problems. That's more direct. Yes, maybe you don't like to knock a ball just into the box, but they won the ball. They got on the end of it. Danny Rivera heading back into danger. You know, you can't always craft the perfect goal. Sometimes you just got to get the ball in the box and see what happens.
In by Dequa, easy for the goalkeeper.
I was going to say, hopefully with a better cross than that from Dequa. Yes, I wanted it in the box, but you know, don't stick it up in the clouds and give it to the goalkeeper. But at least they're trying. At least there seems to be a little bit more of a sense from Pittsburgh of let's get it in there. Let's see if we can just get something from this game, get an equalizer, and then the energy you would think would change hugely once Pittsburgh get the equalizer.
Ooh, Austin are in again here. Crucial challenge by Griffin, helping Kilwine. And the corner shifts to the opposite side for Austin.
It's a danger in Austin, isn't it? They're counter-attacking. Don't do it often, but when they do, they look very, very dangerous. Let's have a look at it again. Vitiello has just been watching most of the game, hasn't had much to do. Ball gets slipped in, great run from midfield, and eventually 2 Riverhounds defenders deal with the issue.
Javi Baez wearing the captain's armband tonight for Austin. Delivers it in and over the top.
That's happened at both ends. It's happened here, and about 3 minutes ago it happened at the other end. Why don't you have a player deep at the far post? I mean, wouldn't you spread your entire team? Someone near post, someone middle, someone far post, someone edge of the box. Why have it all in the middle and then one ball goes over everybody's head? I'm not quite sure I get that.
In the end, same result. Both go out harmlessly for goal kicks. Cicerone leads the Riverhounds forward. He has some space to run into here, but he took one too many touches. Now Austin. Yakaza assessing his options. In traffic, does well. Doof back to him. Fernandez. Diouf. And Baez. Rare spell of possession for Austin Bold that's been lasting. And we saw at halftime just 24% possession for the roadside in the first half. They will gain a free kick opportunity here.
And coaches will say to you, yeah, some games will have 70% possession, some games will have 24. We don't mind as long as we win the game. That would be a fair argument from Austin Bold. They don't need to play pretty. They're not at home. They don't have home fans to please. And I'm sure those watching on TV are extremely delighted with this result so far. So for that man there, Marcelo Serrano, he's getting everything he wants from this game, and his team have managed it absolutely perfectly so far. But you get the feeling that as the clock ticks down, Pittsburgh start getting a bit more desperate. The balls will start raining into that box, and then we're going to see a really exciting last 20 minutes or so.
I mentioned earlier Pittsburgh's congested schedule in this 40-day stretch that they're in the middle of. So you take a look at Bob Lilly directing traffic for the Riverhounds. Always one of our favorite parts of watching Pittsburgh is getting to hear Bob Lilly control his side and instruct them. The Austin Bold scheduling hiccup came back on May 30th. Their game versus Tacoma was postponed due to rain and lightning. So that game's going to be rescheduled for later in the season on October 6th. And that was something they had to kind of deal with. And of course, they had the short turnaround facing El Paso, Copa Tejas, and then having to bounce back from that difficult defeat against their rivals. But they've done it so far. They've been more than up to the task as they defend this attack from Pittsburgh. Rivera trying to use some fancy footwork, and he let it run out of play.
Sort of sums up the day so far for Pittsburgh. They've tried, they've been around the edges, but they just haven't done enough for me, and that's another example of wasted possession. But this time, don't stress Pittsburgh Riverhounds fans, this time just needs that one goal for the entire mood of the stadium to change. You hear the singing sort of die down as well, but one goal and they'll be banging those drums again.
Dixon, Dover, first time ball, and in the end the goalkeeper easily corrals it. The Riverhounds are back in action next Saturday, June 12th, 7 p.m. Miami FC makes its Highmark Stadium debut. You can visit riverhounds.com or call the box office 412-865-GOAL. Individual and group tickets are on sale now. Doesn't get easier for Pittsburgh after this one. Miami in town, they're much improved from last season. Austin now looking possibly for a second. Pittsburgh's back line, and with the help of Canardo Forbes, snuffs out their possession.
I mean, as a manager, you don't want to fall too far behind. And as you're saying, it's tough on the road coming up for Pittsburgh. If you're Bob Lilly, you lose this one, and then maybe you battle against a very resurgent Miami FC side. And next thing, you're chasing, and time's running out, and the playoffs are looming, and it becomes a very pressurized situation. You want to be in a reverse. And it's the same for Austin Bold in their group, you know. If they lost this, they'd also be chasing. A win gets them right up there on the edge of the playoff positions.
Foul goes Canardo Forbes and Pittsburgh's way. Forbes, wearing the captain's armband, wins a free kick. Challenge came in there from Javi Baez. So again, Forbes will assess his options. Does have Rivera just off to the left on the edge of your screen. Plenty to aim at inside the penalty area, which is where he sends it. But too many bold players in the middle of it. Griffin keeps it alive. And that's going to be a free kick to alleviate the pressure. And then a bit of afters there as well. Not sure. It's always tough to tell with those kind of situations if it was intentional. Fernandez was hit with the ball after the referee blew his whistle. Was there foul play involved with that? Tough to tell.
Well, they're certainly upset, the Austin Bold players, and they're complaining to the referee because he took it right in the face, and that's always a worry. Don't think it was intentional. The whistle maybe just went as he was striking the ball. But again, another ball into the box from Pittsburgh, and no real challenge on it. There were 2 or 3 white shirts. Let's have a look at this here. Header back in. Ball's going to come out there, and has the whistle gone? He lines it up, thumps that Kilwine in. And to be fair, he knocks it on the ground. He doesn't know that the player's already on the ground. So I don't think there's any malintent. I'd be more concerned if I was Pittsburgh about a ball into the box that 3 white shirts went ahead and there wasn't a single yellow shirt around. It's been a very ineffective attacking game from Pittsburgh. And yet, while we credit Austin Bold, he's got to find a way around this, Bob Lilly. He's got to figure something out. Again, we mentioned Anthony Valverde, who was a top goal scorer from last season, and Valverde would be a nice added addition to put in there. But the players are good enough, Pittsburgh players, to find a way around.
We mentioned him earlier, Ryan Thompson, assistant on the Bold bench. He's encouraging his team in his old stomping grounds, and briefly saw there, looks like Bob Lilly is readying multiple changes. So we will see what Bob Lilly decides to do moving forward. At the moment, they're chasing a goal that was scored inside the first 60 seconds, Pittsburgh, by Colin Fernandez. And now Austin Bold doing what teams tend to do in these situations, protecting the lead, trying to frustrate Pittsburgh as much as they can.
You can see the referee, Elton Garcia, very quick to recognize exactly what you're saying, rushed in there to calm everything down and tell Austin Bold players to back off. Good refereeing. He's been very quick. Any players chirped him, he's straight away said to them, let me do the refereeing, you do the playing.
Pittsburgh again. The idea was there.
Quality lacking from this Pittsburgh side, who are normally a lot more efficient.
The United Soccer League, all 31 championship clubs and its players stand together in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. For more information on the USL's commitment to change through the United Against Racism campaign, visit uslsoccer.com. One more tip of the cap to Elton Garcia, our referees. Just from the shots we've seen of him, so good at communicating with both sides as well, not leaving anything in the dark. He's been very much making sure everybody knows what's going on, everyone's on the same page, so no one has to chirp at him if they don't have to. You see Bob Lilly consulting, looks like possibly 3 changes potentially here. We'll have to wait and see, but Velarde's in there, Wharton in there as well, and Tommy Williamson. All of them look to be getting their orders here.
And there's 3 good players to bring in as well. They can make a difference, and yeah, with half an hour to go, you do think it's about the right time to do that. They've tried with Cicerone coming on. They've brought him into it. He hasn't been able to find a way through. So, hey, whether you lose 1-0, 2-0, or 3-0, you're losing. It's worth the risk at this stage, and that's, I guess, how Bob Lilly has computed the situation.
And it looks like the first of those changes will be made. Anthony Velarde will enter. Danny Rivera will exit.
Velarde can make a big difference with his goal-scoring ability.
Riverhounds substitution. Number 15, Anthony Velarde.
Looks like Dequa will make way for Williamson as the second change.
Struggled Decoy, hasn't he? Hasn't really got into the game, not his normal standard. It might take him a while to get back to that high standard, but don't think he's done enough to impress the manager so far.
And Todd Wharton is going to be the third change. Very good on set pieces and good with his distribution as well. And Preston Kilwine is going to be sacrificed. For those Penguins fans out there, a line change from Bob Lilly here. 3 changes at once.
Todd!
66th minute here. Pittsburgh trying to get back into it. You see Preston Kilwine actually looks to be a little slow to get back to the bench. Hopefully he's okay moving forward. That might be something of a concern for Bob Lilly to look at later on after this game is over. Veet for the Riverhounds, trying to provide some kind of a spark for Bob Lilly's side with 4 changes made. Wharton out wide for Velarde. The substitutes try to link up, but it's out of play. Velarde, 5 goals last season. Gary, you mentioned it. Leading scorer that returned from last season. As you see, Austin Bold will make a change. Stefano Pino will enter. And Atez Diouf, we didn't call his name too much tonight, will exit.
I think he struggled to make an impact. I mean, he will point to the score and say, hey, I spent my time defending, not attacking. And he did, to be fair to him. In the very first minute, he's been back, tracking back, working really hard, and probably time for him now to have a rest. And Stefano, age 30, experienced player, Stefano Pino. He gets a big hug for a hard graft from a striker having to play in defensive positions. That's a hard day's work. This is it for Pittsburgh. If they're going to get their fans excited, if they're going to do something, then they've got the players on the pitch to do it. We saw last night that Phoenix Rising were 2-0 down into the 90th minute and still managed a 2-2 draw against San Diego. So you just got to keep pushing, keep getting balls in the box, keep giving your strikers something to go for, some decent service. And as I say, that ball goes out of possession, which pretty much sums up Pittsburgh until the 67th minute.
Yeah, 2 rusty passes from Todd Wharton since he's come on. Well, you mentioned it, Gary. They've fired their bullets here, Pittsburgh. Besides Josh Gatt, not much else to turn to now for Bob Lilly.
And even if you have a bad 89 minutes, nothing stops you popping up with an equalizer in the dying minutes. And Pittsburgh under Bob Lilly, they won't give up. They're going to just keep firing away and putting pressure and hoping to get that breakthrough.
Wharton, better service this time. Central header. Velarde trying to keep it alive. Williamson tried to turn and shoot. Austin have to smuggle it away. Gordon trying to keep it alive, and he's able to clear it towards the halfway line. And Pittsburgh can recycle it.
Oh, it's a lonely job up front there for Sean Okoli. Him trying to sort of trudge his way back. He's the only one up there. Everybody else is back in that final third, and his job is to try on his own against sometimes 2 or 3 defenders, try and hold the ball up.
Lovely attempt. Wharton and then Dixon with wonderful skill trying to sneak one through. It was snuffed out. Griffin. Cicerone. Forbes threaded the needle well. Sent over to the near side. Velarde couldn't control it. And Austin can reassess themselves at the back.
It looks better to me now, Pittsburgh. It's not the flowery soccer we saw up until now, passing around the edge of the box. Now it's more incisive balls, and yet 1 or 2 will go out of bounds, but at least they look like they're getting more direct. And that, I'm sure, is what Bob Lilly has demanded from them in these final 20 minutes.
Dover. This is Kennardo Forbes. Todd Wharton. Now Velarde puts in a dangerous ball. The header from Williamson. Still alive. Cicerone in the area, not quite. And the flag was up anyway.
That's a much better move. Great cross whipped in there. They won the ball in the air. Now, if you keep doing that, there's every chance you're going to get an equalizer.
The one interesting stat that I did want to share on Tommy Williamson, born May 5th, 1999. And Gary, he's the first player to be born after the club's first game in their history, which was 4 days before that, May 1st, to appear in a competitive game for the club.
Wow, good stats. Sean?
Can he make a difference? But it's still a bit of a historic moment for the club, and obviously Tommy Williamson as well. And he's shown he can be effective late on, but can he provide a goal potentially? He's part of that group that just came on just a few minutes to go as Gordon is fouled. With just under 20 minutes to go, Austin Bold have a set-piece opportunity in a pretty dangerous position.
Good play by Gordon. Run at the defense, get them to lunge in, and if they don't lunge in, of course, you keep running, and then you get yourself a free kick. Just slows everything down, controls the game. And there was the potential of a second, and that would really give them a nice cushion.
Austin Bold do look to be potentially bringing on one of their big guns from the bench. Jason Johnson looks to be getting set as the ball is fluttered in and caught by Vitiello without too much trouble, although he's being hounded on his way outside of the penalty area, I should say to the edge of it.
That should be a yellow card. You're not allowed to block the goalkeeper from distributing the ball, and quite blatantly blocked there by Gustavo Rissi.
Now Alex Dixon stays on his feet. Play continues. Griffin, Forbes. Can Pittsburgh create something? Dover. And Forbes. And Veet, I believe, and that took a deflection. Austin do well to keep that in and avoid, I should say, a corner, and it's a throw-in for Pittsburgh. And again, the referee making sure everything's okay in the penalty area. He was checking on Gustavo Rissi. And in the end, nothing comes of it, at least as far as the game continuing. Here's Dixon. And Dixon wins the corner.
This could be a time for Pittsburgh to get something now. They just haven't been good on set pieces. They're throwing more bodies into the box. The desperation is growing. You've got to try and get something from one of these corners. Now it'd be as good time as any.
Forbes, the assist man, sends it in. Only as far as Griffin on the clearance. Forbes, second chance at it. Tries his left boot this time, fluttered towards Wharton. Central header, Williamson couldn't quite keep it down. Dixon, good timing to head it back into the penalty area to keep it alive.
That was better, nearly a chance for Williamson there. Didn't fall for him, but they're getting closer and closer now, Pittsburgh.
Austin trying to counter, snuffed out by Jordan Dover. Now Todd Wharton surges forward. And his pass leaves a lot to be desired.
The problem for Austin is they keep giving possession away. Every time they go forward, they don't hold on to it. And you're going to get tired. If you're not tired already, you've been chasing. And you know, if you let any team come onto you time and time again with shots and set pieces and corners, they will get a breakthrough. So for Austin, they need to get their foot on the ball.
And Veet, again, a good idea. Austin again able to shepherd it away. Wharton, though. And again, Forbes. Velarde. Forbes keeps it alive again. Griffin. Touched on Velarde, and it just ran away from him at the vital moment.
How many times in that little move there did Austin Bold win the ball and give it away? 3 or 4 times. They can't keep doing that.
And now a collision. Alardi went down, and when a yellow card will be given here. And I believe Mobi Akugo will be penalized for that challenge.
Good position to whip the ball in. You can see if Alardi's got his hands in it. He's already thinking, what can I do? His head's up. He's looking around thinking, probably a difficult position to score, but good one to whip the ball in. Let's have a look. Long ball from Vitiello. I don't necessarily think the defender did anything wrong, but maybe it was the striker stepping back into Akugo. But either way, plays it well, plays it cleverly, wins the free kick. That's what it's all about.
You see there the goal scorer, Colin Fernandez, feels like, well, 74 minutes ago since he scored it. Back in the first. He was down once earlier tonight.
And they've been defending ever since then, Austin Bold.
Yeah.
Defend, counter-attack, that's what they've done. They've worked really hard. You can see the sweat pouring off them there, off Akugo in particular. They put in a real shift. There's still 15 minutes plus any added time to go. And I've no doubt the pressure will ramp up if they can't get this goal.
Looks like Austin's going to make a triple change here. A couple of really talented attacking players. There's Aldo Quintanilla, formerly of RGV, will enter for Sean Okoli, who's being told to leave the short way. We'll also see Jason Johnson. Played with Lou City a season ago, known for his time in Phoenix as well.
Yeah, Bob Lilly said he was worried about him. He thought Jason Johnson was a really, really dangerous player.
And it looks like Omar Sis will also enter the field of play as well. So a triple change. Gordon will make way as well. So that could help, like you said, Gary, getting some of that possession and holding on to it. Those are all guys that can do it, although the goal scorer, Colin Fernandez, also makes way. It was a good ball in. Akugo got his head to it. It's out for a corner.
Substitutions. Number 6, Omar Sis, in for number 3, Colin Fernandez. Number 11.
This is about concentration, and the problem is when you're tired and you put in a shift, and there's no question those players have put in a shift, you start to make errors.
Well, it was towards Williamson, who took a big swing at it, but didn't get enough contact on it to trouble the goalkeeper. And Panico corrals it. Fans follow Pittsburgh Riverhounds and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN+, home to the USL, MLS, Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Join the more than 12 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN+ and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. Twelve and a half minutes plus potential stoppage time for Pittsburgh to rescue something from this game. Austin win a throw off of Alex Dixon on the far side. Pittsburgh still no shots on target in this game. Austin Bold's defensive shape and tactics have so far done the job.
That's a very worrying stat. If you're a Pittsburgh fan, of all the possession they've had, what was it, 75%? You haven't had one shot on target to bother Elia Panico. That's just not good enough, not from this talented squad.
It was swing and a miss there. Wharton did everything he could to try to keep it alive. He uses the speed of Forbes to do just that. Dixon couldn't quite reel that in. And Hines does well to clear. But Pittsburgh win it back. Lofted over the top. Williamson trying to fight off a defender. And in the end, it's easy for the goalkeeper, Panico.
It's wash, rinse, repeat, isn't it? Pittsburgh try and put something together. It's ineffective. Austin Bold get it. They don't seem to hold on to it too long, and then it gets back to Pittsburgh, and we do the whole thing again. But as you know, as we mentioned last night, it was a tough game for Phoenix Rising. They kept going, and they got their 2 goals after the 90th minute. So, you know, that's what Pittsburgh have to do.
Riverhounds fans, flex plans are 6 undated vouchers to use it anytime you want over the 2021 season to catch the Hounds in action. Use them all for one game or spread them out throughout the season. On sale now. Plans start at just $90. Call the box office at 412-865-GOAL today. Austin give it back as Quintanilla couldn't keep that in play. He's certainly somebody who could be helpful in Austin seeing this out, as Vitiello had to get that away and did so. Helpful bounce for Pittsburgh as it falls for Dixon. Now Williamson on it. Has Velarde up with him. Velarde's offside. Williamson takes aim. And in the end, it's right at Panico. Didn't have to move.
Yeah,
that's a shot on target.
It is a shot on target. It's the first one. It wasn't a great shot on target. It wasn't either side of the keeper. Didn't make him have to make a dive. But let's have a look. Cuts inside on the right. Yeah, and it bends towards the keeper. He was trying to get it in the top corner. Oh, Vitiello, did he step out of the box? Or was the ball out of the box, more to the point, with his hand touching it? No, they say no. But I guess going back to the shot there, we've just seen, maybe Pittsburgh Riverhounds fans are saying, well, at least we had a shot on target.
Could they get another one here? And the header is over the top again, this time from Cicerone.
That's better. That's a ball into a dangerous area. If he gets the right header, that is a goal. Have a look at this cross. At last, something good coming from out wide there, from Jordan Dover. That's brilliant cross. Good header, not too far off. That's better, Riverhounds. Give us a game. Come on.
9 minutes to go for Pittsburgh to salvage something. And really, these last 2 minutes or so have been the first couple of warning shots that Austin have had in some time. And ball floated over the top. Williamson trying to force his way in there. And does. Wins a throw-in for Pittsburgh.
White shirts getting back, as they have done. And we're talking about Pittsburgh. We've got to keep giving credit to Austin Bold for the defensive effort they've put in, the work rate, the closing down. Look at these white shirts here, making it so difficult for Pittsburgh to perform. And in the end, yep, they win the goal kick.
Another great defensive stand for Marcelo Serrano's Austin Bold. Brazilian international trying to get his team over the line in their first ever meeting with the Eastern Power Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
Done a very good job so far, 82nd minute, but as we all know, this game goes to the 90th and beyond. You just get that sense that if Austin Bold lose concentration for just a minute, something has to go Pittsburgh's way eventually. They put enough crosses and efforts into the box.
We were on hand, Gary, when Pittsburgh was knocking at Charlotte's door just a few games ago here at Highmark. Charlotte was able to just sneak out of here with all 3 points. Can Austin do the same, as Pittsburgh will keep on hammering at the door, as there is a player down, though, here for Austin.
I think it's a head injury, which is why, again, credit the referee, Elton Garcia. As soon as he thought it was a head injury, he stopped the game immediately. And a few players turned to him as if, what are you doing? He said, nah, we stopped. This is serious. And well done, the referee.
Made a note, saw there on his watch as well. This will add on to the end. This was the last sequence. Maybe that was something on the back end there that forced the player down.
Just went for a header and then went down after it. Maybe just got dizzy after the head, or maybe got a bit of cramp at the same time.
Well, I hope it wasn't any whiplash, possibly from the turf on the way down, or something else.
Crucial moments here for Pittsburgh. They haven't had a good game. It hasn't worked for them. They've had only their first shot on target a few minutes ago, and even that wasn't that impressive. But they can still turn it around. They can still get a draw. They can still win this. So what can Bob Lilly get them to do for the last 7 minutes plus?
Well, now Austin are trying to decide here what they're going to do as far as a change, potentially. We'll have to wait and see what they decide to do. Referee Elton Garcia looks to be getting ready to restart play. Amobi Okugo was the player down for Austin. We'll have to wait and see if he can continue. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh are back at it, trying to find an equalizer. Velarde's ball in. Dover tried to hound the Austin defense. Now Hines just able to keep that in, but Pittsburgh had it for a moment, booted out just about near the halfway line, maybe a little bit closer. Pittsburgh win the throw.
But there's a few chewed fingernails in Austin, Texas at the moment because they've just been defending. And they're getting so close to getting all 3 points, Austin Bold. And given the way they've played, it'd be well deserved because they haven't put a foot wrong in this match so far.
So it looks like Taylor will enter the field of play. Jermaine Taylor and Amobi Okugo. Great crucial piece to this Austin Bold program. Will exit after another hard day's work from him and gets a lot of congratulations from his entire coaching staff.
Yeah, he's put in a great shift, but I would hold on the congratulations until the final whistle blows. There's still time for Pittsburgh to get something out of this, as there is still time for Austin Bold to get a second and put it to bed.
Will there be another late twist in Pittsburgh? We had an early twist. The Colin Fernandez goal inside of the first minute. It's the difference in the game. Will it stand up for 3 points for Austin? Or can Pittsburgh snatch something away from them at the end? Williamson. Out for Forbes. Forbes back to Williamson, who was dragged down, I think, just outside of the penalty area. A booking has been shown, I think, to Jason Johnson for pulling him down. Referee does signal that it was a shirt pull. Jason Johnson pleads his case. We'll take another look at it.
Yep, I mean, the referee's given us. I'm not quite sure what the pleading does. Hard to see. Players don't normally just go down, and it's outside the box as well, so there's no chance of a penalty. But without a closer look, we can't tell if he is guilty or not. The bottom line is the referee's given it, so get on with the game. Get yourself organized. Again, if you're Austin Bold, to concede now after defending so well for so long, as happened to San Diego last night, you don't want to be in that situation, so you've got to concentrate.
Forbes or Velarde over this for the Riverhounds. Again, Elton Garcia making sure everything is safe for everyone inside the penalty area. No one's doing anything too brash. Forbes with a good ball in, and Cicerone. Wharton was there as well, but nobody could put it on target, and it's out for a goal kick.
Well, it's the first really good set piece. Here we are in the dying seconds of the game. I mean, how many corners have been put in and other free kicks? That's a free kick. And maybe should have done better at the near post with that. Cicerone got ahead of the ball, couldn't, in fairness to him, he couldn't get his head back the other way. But man, that's got the potential to result in a goal. Much better, Pittsburgh.
Now Veet into his own corner. Gives it away. Quintanilla. This is where the substitutions can pay off potentially for Austin, although Quintanilla lets it run out of play. It was a chance to milk more of the clock. Pittsburgh regained possession with just over 2 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Cicerone. And Williamson was shoved near the Austin bench by Taylor. Nothing comes of it. Fourth official's trying to tell Taylor to get on with it here. Austin in no hurry, up by a goal to nil. Williams will shepherd that out. It's a goal kick coming down on the final minute of the 90. Pittsburgh trying to rally the troops here.
It's amazing. It's a carbon copy of that Charlotte match. You know, going 1-0 down, battering away, just not able to find that quality. And yet they go away from home and they score 3 goals against Loudoun and 3 against New York Red Bulls. So they can score goals. It's just something about their home ground is just not working for them at the moment.
Can Pittsburgh salvage something from this game? They're running out of time. Williamson tried to control it, went down. Referee didn't even think about anything there as far as a free kick. Dover throws it right back into play. 30 seconds left of the 90. Griffin, Williamson, and Williamson scuffs his shot. And that's going to take us to 90 minutes. How much added time now will there be for Pittsburgh? Well, we're being told, await the confirmation here. As the goalkeeper, Panico, boots this. There's the confirmation. Pittsburgh have 5 more minutes to try to get a point.
There will be a minimum of 5 minutes.
That's 5 more minutes for Austin Bolt to work really hard to hold on to their lead. Now you start getting desperate. Now it's not even a case of playing pretty football leading up to it. Just bomb that ball into the box and just see if you can get any knockdowns. There you go. That's what you want to be doing.
In towards Cicerone. Dixon was lurking as well. Baez clears for Austin. And now Quintanilla. Oh, another chance to maybe hold up the play, and he loses his footing. Now Forbes. And Wharton gives it away. Trying to win it back. Austin regained possession. Siakaza does really well. Possibly plays Austin in here. Jason Johnson onto his right boot. Does well to hold up the play initially, but then gives it away. 4 minutes to go.
You can feel that tension for the Pittsburgh fans, willing their team to get forward and try and get something in that box. Again, the white shirts get behind the ball, close the space down as they've done from the very first minute, and they really have put in a masterclass of defending in the final third and counter-attack football. Credit Austin Bold if they can hold on to this lead.
Pittsburgh come again. Wharton. Oh, Cicerone slipped past one. Keeps it alive nearly for Velarde. Crucial intervention there. It's out for a throw. And Bob Lilly chucks it back over there. Says, get on with it. Williams. A central header again. Nobody in the vicinity for Pittsburgh. And it bounces harmlessly out for yet another goal kick. And we've had 2 minutes of the 5 added on.
And first half, they got into so many good positions to put balls in the box, Pittsburgh, and didn't. Now they're putting them in, and yeah, it's not working for them, but could they have done this a little bit earlier? Could they have been more direct? It's not always the nicest football, but sometimes you have to play to what the opponents allow you to play.
Kaza let it run. Cicerone deflected it to keep it in play. Williamson wins it back for Forbes. Now Forbes lofts it over the top. Again, the Austin back line, it's been so formidable today, is there yet again. Veet this time, with Pittsburgh running out of time at Highmark. And again, Dixon couldn't find anybody. Williams let it bounce. Quintanilla was lurking, but Vitiello's able to gather.
When you think Vitiello's had literally nothing to do all game, had no chance with the goal, brilliant goal, and since then, it's just been Pittsburgh with possession, Pittsburgh attacking, and Pittsburgh unable to score.
Under 2 minutes left of the 5 added on. Veet headed away. Boy, Pittsburgh have got to hurry to get to this, and in the end, they concede a throw because they were out-hustled to there by Austin, and Jason Johnson's fresh legs pay off that time.
There's a few tired bodies wearing white shirts. You can look at them as they sort of trump towards the halfway line there. They've put in a real hard graft here. It's always harder when you're defending than when you're attacking because you're closing down gaps and angles, and there's absolutely no question that Austin Bold have done really well defensively tonight. Absolutely top class.
Austin Bold trying to finish this out. They have a minute to go. And that goes out of play, and that's only going to help the Bold cause. Maybe one last roll of the dice for the Riverhounds. All played forward and Austin Bold controlled it. For a moment, it's given back. Is there a late twist? Over the top, Velarde, chests it down, miscommunication! And the goalkeeper, Panico, grabs it with 20 seconds to go to avoid disaster at the death.
Decent ball in. Have a look at this ball that gets whipped in here. Velarde tries to bring it down. It's a little bit chest high. I think that was Falls with the pass there, but this causes a bit of uncertainty, something we haven't seen until these dying moments. That's what they wanted earlier on, and Panico not panicking, getting on the ball, killing it. And that should be about it, and all the excitement for Pittsburgh fans is left until the last few minutes.
That's it. Austin Bold's hard work pays off in Pittsburgh. And Marcelo Serrano's Austin Bold get all 3 points at Highmark Stadium. Gary, your final thoughts as Austin Bold take the first ever meeting with Pittsburgh.
Just absolute credit to Austin Bold. I mean, they've worked so hard. Look, players down there in white shirts and the medics rushing across to see what they can do. But they have worked their socks off. Fantastic goal from Colin Fernandez to win this match. And vital points for Austin Bold in their quest to qualify for the playoffs. Big goalkeeper Panico getting a fist bump, and why not? But for Pittsburgh, it's now the second home game. They've lost 1-0 and haven't been able to score a single goal. Away from home, good. At home, it's a problem for the Riverhounds.
Fair play to the Pittsburgh fans giving credit to their opponents today. As you'd expect, another hard-fought game at Highmark, but in the end, Austin Bold win it by a 1-0. We'll take a quick break and we'll wrap things up from Pittsburgh right after this.
The action is at Highmark Stadium in June.
While a swing and a miss, and Vitiello comes up to save the first.
Saturday, June 12th, Miami FC makes its debut appearance at Highmark Stadium with a 7 p.m. kickoff. The Hounds close their June home schedule against the New York Red Bull 2 on Friday, June 25th. Individual seats on sale now. Visit riverhounds.com or call 412-865-GOAL. Pleasant Valley Golf Club, nestled in the Laurel Highlands of southwestern Pennsylvania, is now open to the public. Enjoy 18 holes of championship golf with a new island green and fully stocked pro shop. Our clubhouse features a large ballroom for weddings or private parties, 2 restaurants serving delicious food, a sports bar, 2 state-of-the-art golf simulators, and an outdoor patio with gas fire pit and picturesque view. Pleasant Valley Golf Club, now open to the public. Summer is almost here, and so are the Riverhounds Academy Summer Technical Clinics. We have 3 sessions which are geared to players interested in developing technical skills in multiple areas over the course of the week. Clinics are led by Riverhounds Development Academy trainers and current professional Riverhounds players. Clinics start July 5th, open to players 7 to 14 years old. Register online or contact the Academy office at 412-325-7238.
Sean St. Jacques, Gary Bailey back here with you, wrapping things up from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It was the first ever meeting between the Riverhounds and Austin Bold, and in the first minute, Austin Bold decided it through a goal from Colin Fernandez. As we take a look at the full-time highlights, Gary, this is really the biggest moment of quality in the entire game, and we got it in the blink of an eye.
We did, and credit to Akoli for setting that. Firstly, DF to Akoli. Akoli lays it off, but here's the quality you're talking about. I mean, it's a wonderful strike on the volley. No wonder Fernandez turns and sprints away, because he knows as he's hit that, he's going, wow, that's in the corner. That gives Vitiello absolutely no chance.
Pittsburgh started to knock on the door right away, but had a lot of possession, Gary, and didn't quite make the most of it.
They didn't. In my book, they didn't do much. VT gets a flick on, just, wondering if they can get on the end of that and do anything. But that's all it was, huff and a puff. Dikwe couldn't get the ball down, couldn't do much with it. And to be fair, Austin Bold defended really well. They didn't give Pittsburgh anything to work with, and Pittsburgh didn't make anything to work with.
Early on in the second half, and to be fair, at times it looked like Austin would be more likely to score than the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. They did create a couple of chances, but they weren't able to add to their total.
Yeah, they were looking for a second. They were looking for a bit of a cushion here. Good run from, good run into the box, good defending. And it's not until here, the 95th minute, that we really start getting a proper chance in the box. Cicerone had 1 or 2 headers early on, and then Vladi there nearly on the end of it. Well, he is on the end of it, just can't bring it under control. Vladi, and the big goalkeeper closes the angle down and jumps on the loose ball, and that was basically the best chance for Pittsburgh.
Full-time stats, and boy, that possession stayed actually just about where it was at halftime, 74%, and it got as high as 75% for Pittsburgh in the second half. And Gary, just the 1 shot on target from Tommy Williamson, and despite that +5 in total shots, Pittsburgh could not find the back of the net for the second straight home game.
Yeah, not good enough up front, no questions about it. 1 shot on target, and Austin Bold not only had 3 shots on target, they didn't need to shoot. They were 1-0 up. They could sit back, and so they do more from a 1-0 lead than Pittsburgh did from being 1-0 down. Now, yep, tough for the Riverhounds, but you know, they've got enough good players to come back. They've won the last 2, so it's a little bit of an up and down season, but they need to start turning it around, get back to being that old Pittsburgh where that home ground was a massive advantage.
So Austin Bold, first time coming to Highmark Stadium. It seemed like a tall task coming into the night, but they were more than up for it. They defended with all they had, and it was enough for the 3 points. Colin Fernandez's goal was the difference, and Pittsburgh goes back to the drawing board at Highmark Stadium. For Gary Bailey and our entire crew, I'm Sean St. Jacques saying so long from Pittsburgh. It finishes Pittsburgh Riverhounds 0, Austin Bold 1.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.